Ooh, it's that time of year again. My favorite time of year, outside of Halloween. But I'm gonna be giving away not one, but two of my Chris's world famous Knick-Knack Shack buckets. Yeah, baby. Let's get into it.
You know the type of guy that was a jock in high school but ended up becoming a huge nerd? You know, someone that's not afraid to make a fool of themselves on the internet. And someone that likes to shoot Polaroid a little too much. Did I say huge nerd? You know, just an ordinary, everyday guy. Well, that's me. I'm just another Chris. Ooh, Merry Christmas! Yeah, oh my gosh. What a year. What a wild and crazy year. Better than last year, I will say, actually. But if you're new here, welcome in. We'll be giving away one of my world famous Chris's Knick-Knack Shack buckets here shortly. The bucket started just for fun. I'd give them away to my family for Christmas. I just fill them with random weird things. One actual main gift and then full of like funny gag gifts. I gave my dad some reflector tape one time. And actually, I gave my dad probably one of the funniest things. And it was a fish tank for your TV. It was just a screensaver DVD. It was hilarious. Anyway, last year though, I opened it up for you guys to join in on the fun. And if you want to enter in to win, stay tuned because you can get yourself one of these buckets. I take this time to kind of reminisce about what happened during the year and the goals I've made previously, which was last Christmas. Did I achieve them? Did I do them? Well, man, what a year. It's been kind of wild. I made this year my travel year, that's for sure. But I get comments about this all the time, and now I can address it here. Last year, one of the goals that I made was to do more 35mm film, 120 film, the like quote traditional film photography on the channel. I did some, but I didn't do a lot. And the reason I was like trying to add more of that in there is because I do enjoy it. It is fun. But also I was really trying to grow this channel a little bit more, get a broader audience coming in. And well, I quickly found out I just wasn't entirely completely passionate about 35, 120 or quote traditional film. I enjoy it very much. I love the process of it. But then at the end of the day, it's still kind of a digital photo, and I like having something physical at the end of the day. And so I kind of just didn't do a lot of it. I did some, and in fact, I have videos that I shot this year. I just haven't finished them. And what's one of the things that I ran into when I was creating these videos is like, I shoot the videos, get them all ready to go, and then I have to have the film developed. I have to wait for it to come back, and sometimes it takes a couple of weeks because I don't develop my own film. And it was just such a slow process. Then I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll just invest in everything to develop it myself. That's expensive. Am I passionate enough for all that? No, I'm not. I'd rather just work with local labs, and I did do some of those, and just have them develop it there. I'm just not passionate enough for it to go that far yet. Maybe my mind will change in the future because I really do like shooting that stuff. It is fun. I'm still going to do the casual traditional photography going into 2025, but I know a lot of people have asked me about film photography, like, oh, what are you gonna be doing more of it? What happened? You said you would. Yeah, I did say I would, and I did do some, just not a lot. But man, like I said earlier, travel year. This was the year for travel. Oh my gosh, I love traveling. It's expensive though, but it's so much fun. I went on a road trip to start the year down to San Francisco to attend PolaCon Bay Area. First time, really fun. Took some friends. We spent, I think, a week or so on the road. It was a blast. Later in the year, I went to PolaCon New York City. Oh my God, that was a blast. Then I did a bunch of road trips up to like Seattle and some other local places near me. I went to Orlando for one of my clients' events, which was the Pokemon card event, the card party. That was super fun. But probably the highlight of the year for travel was going to Japan. Oh man. Plane. We're going to Japan. And I've yet to touch a single piece of footage from that trip. I need to edit that.
Took the Bullet Train, watched Bullet Train, the movie. I didn't listen to any Bullet Train songs though. We still got to head back home. Got Bullet Train to work. I'm lucky I got it to work. I didn't get to finish it though, but I got a little bit of Bullet Train to watch on the way back.
So that's a goal. Go in 2025, work on those videos. There's a lot, and it's a little overwhelming. And I shot some pack film while I was there. I shot some 35mm film there, and it's already developed too. It's just gotta make the video. Tons and tons of Polaroid photos. It was a blast. Went with some friends. Definitely need to go back. So I want to continue the travel into next year. I already have a couple trips planned for 2025. First one is PolaCon, New York City, definitely going back to that. But while I was going to PolaCon, New York City, there's a place I've always wanted to check out since like 2019, 2020, something like that, was the TWA Hotel. And I got to go. I need to go back though. The weather wasn't the greatest, so the pictures didn't come out the greatest. Instant photography, that is. It was still a fun little trip and little side quest of mine while I went to New York, and I'm gonna be going back there. Hopefully I can stay there. Maybe I could do like one night there. It was expensive though. It's like $300 a night. So we'll see. But I would love to stay there. So maybe that's one of the goals for next year. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll leave a link in the description. I did a video while I was there. It's pretty fun. But going back to the bucket, how do you get it? What's in the bucket? Well, most of it's a surprise, but I'll show you a little something that you do get.
Let's talk bucket in a second. If you're a longtime viewer, you might know this, but if you are someone that just subscribed this year or recently, wow, first of all, thank you. Thanks for coming along the journey. I love you. I'm in love with you. Thank you. But you might not know, each year I've given away one of my buckets, world famous Knick-Knack Shack. But each year I pick one of my friends and I give away a bucket. But last year was the first year I implemented a second bucket that I'm actually giving away to one of you. But I love doing it. It's so much fun. But before I talk about what's in this bucket that I sent out to one of my good friends, I want to talk about the bucket that you can get and how to enter. And the previous thing I gave away was the Instax Mini SE, which I didn't realize was a Walmart exclusive. So it's actually kind of rare-ish if you don't have a Walmart near you. Some people overseas didn't have the option to pick that camera up, which is a great camera. Well, I had so many people reach out to me and say, dang, they were bummed that they didn't get to win that camera. So I'm gonna give away another Instax Mini SE camera. It's gonna be in this bucket. And to enter, it's really simple. There's a link in the description. Just join the Spitfire Club, AKA Patreon. And then you'll see a pinned post that you just click and enter in, and you're good to go. And I set up a free 7-day free trial. So click that one and you don't have to pay anything. Just sign up, join the giveaway, and cancel if you want to. But I would appreciate you sticking around because it does support the channel. So if you want to win this camera, and there'll be other things in the bucket, yeah. I like to keep some things a surprise to make it more fun, but this is gonna be packed full of really cool stuff. But if you want to win this camera, consider checking out the link in the description and join the Spitfire Club today. All right, now what's in this bucket? Is that the Capital One's new slogan? But this year's bucket pick was a good friend of mine that's just entered into the hobby of instant photography. I love when people want to get into this hobby, and I also want to keep them in this hobby because once you start shooting, you start realizing it's kind of expensive. Yeah. So I want to keep them excited and keep them amped and keep them in this community because we need more people. And so her name is Caitlin. She was on a recent episode of the podcast, as well as early in the year, she was also in a video where I gifted her a camera this year. It was the Barbie camera, which goes along with an item that I picked for her bucket this year. So if you want to check out those videos and that podcast episode, check out the link in the description below. But without further ado, let's get inside this bucket. First thing is, you gotta have a little snacky snack. These pretzels. I'm not even a pretzel guy. These are just next level. Not a sponsor, but Dots, you could totally sponsor me because, I mean, you already use a Polaroid on the back of your packaging. I mean, you put my face there promoting this. Hit me up, Dots. This is their honey mustard. I'm not even a pretzel guy and I don't even like mustard, but these are single-handedly the greatest little snack you'll ever have. You always gotta send a card, and I made her a little card here. Got this idea from my friend Dave Knott from the Knott Top YouTube channel, and where he talked about how to make Polaroid cards, which I think is really fun. And so I took his design, which he done the video on this recently, so I'll leave a link for that too. But check this out, when you open the card, it's a Polaroid. And it's like a Polaroid photo in there as well. Look at that, kind of fun. And since I gave her the Barbie camera earlier this year, she needed a bag. Yeah, this is by Retrospect. It matches her Barbie camera that I gave her earlier this year. It was a no-brainer. But she is the biggest Taylor Swift fan I know. And I decided to make her something. And I have a full actual video on how I did this coming really soon. I'm actually not gonna pull it out of here because I actually have it wrapped up really nice and I don't wanna undo it. But here's B-roll. Yeah, this lamp Look at this thing. How cool is that? Short backstory is I saw this at Target, this lamp. It was like $5. I passed on it. I was trying to figure out what I could make with it, but I ended up not buying it. Then I got home and I clicked. Taylor Swift like has this whole UFO thing from her concert in one of her like latest albums. Well, apparently everyone else had the same idea because they were all gone literally the next day. And I went online to see if I could buy one. Turns out it was all labeled Taylor Swift and everything was sold out. Couldn't find it, but I tracked one down on eBay and paid a little bit more than $5 for it, but it was just too cool. I had to get it, and I whipped this up. Video on this coming soon, so stay tuned. I'm actually pretty proud of how it turned out. And that is all I packed her bucket with this year, which is actually kind of interesting. I always give away a camera to somebody. But since I already gave her a camera earlier this year, I gave her the camera bag to kind of compensate for it.
One of the other goals, or not goals, one of the things I said last year was I'm going to switch to shooting Instax primarily, mostly focused content on that. It didn't happen. I mean, it did happen, but it didn't happen in the way I said it was. I was mad at Polaroid at the time, I think is when I made that statement, because their film, their cameras, everything, it just was wasting money. Things weren't working. Film wasn't working. And I was mad. So I was like, you know what? I promote that company so much. I make them so much money. I'm going to switch to Instax primarily. But the thing is, I'm passionate about Polaroid. I love shooting their cameras and their film when it works. And it just, that shined through still. I did do a lot more Instax videos though. But one of the best things I think this year has been able to get more involved in person with the community, with the instant photography community. I've been able to meet a lot of you that are watching this. I still am blown away and just in complete shock. Imposter syndrome to the max. When I was at PolaCon, New York City specifically, there were so many people just coming up to me wanting to talk to me, talking about my YouTube videos, and like, oh my gosh, like you're the reason I got into this whole thing in the first place. Like your videos just inspired me to do this or that. And it's like, whoa, it's so weird to be on the opposite end of that, because like I've met other YouTubers over the years, so I'm just like, oh my gosh, you're the reason I'm doing this. While I was, like fangirling over these YouTubers, and then here are these people coming up to me and telling me some really deep, impactful things. That was probably the coolest thing, is just hearing how like my videos have like helped people. Like, so some of the people have told me like, oh, me and my girlfriend, we sit around the TV and watch your videos every single upload, which we make it part of our like nightly like routine after work or whatever. I'm like, that's cool. And when I make these videos, I just tend to go out there into the world and I just move on to the next one, because I'm just here alone in my house filming videos and never get to like interact and hear what my impact is out there. And that is really cool to hear and very rewarding. Really inspires me to do more, And so going into next year, I really want to do a couple things. One, get even more involved in the community. I've been saying this for a couple of years, but do my own little event out here. And I think I found the perfect spot to do it. Hopefully I can make it happen. It might just be a small little gathering, maybe a photo walk, just like for the day to start, and maybe go from there. That's something that has to happen. I want to do it. There's nothing out here for instant photography, and I really think it's up to me to do it. The other thing is I want to start implementing a little bit more of the maker stuff here. I used to have a YouTube channel. I kind of retired, where it was pretty much all about that. It was all about making stuff. I did a lot of 3D printing and prop making and all sorts of stuff. And I've been helping my sister more out with some of her cosplays and things, because she's a cosplayer, doing like more like photo shoots for her. I did some earlier this year where I did Goose Week. Went out to her place and shot some photos of her and her partner, and like got me thinking like, man, that'd be really cool to get more involved in that sort of stuff. Like maybe make costumes, do photo shoots, bring back some 3D printing aspects of stuff. And I think I want to figure out a way to make that work here, like make cool custom things. Like for instance, I have had this sitting on my desk for like 3 or 4 years. It's a little milk crate that I made to fit Polaroid photos, and it just sits here. Currently, oh look, here's Kyle from Brooklyn Film Company. These are all the photos when I meet people. I take a portrait of them and have them sign it. Oh, look, there's Lou. Sweet Lou Photography. Shout out to you. Oh, shout out to Dave Knop from Knop Top YouTube channel. Oh, recently I've started working with Chef PK. He's a local for me. He has a huge food YouTube channel. Might be his new producer. We'll see in the future. But anyway, I digress a lot. Really thought this was a cool idea and thought about maybe making a handful of them, giving them away or something on the channel. But I want to start making some stuff. I miss doing that. I miss creating physical things. So I want to bring some of that back. I'd love to know your thoughts and maybe ideas on what I could do. I already got a few cooking up. And lastly, it's one of the goals that's been put on there, I think, pretty much every year, unofficially, if not spoken about. I don't know, I can't remember if I've actually put it in this video each year, but it's been talked about throughout the years. And that is getting Jason Lee on my freaking podcast or on this freaking channel. I met him earlier this year, basically almost a year ago. It was early January of 2024. We had a chat about him coming on the podcast. He was super ecstatic. I reached out to him, but I never heard from him. So I have a plan to see if I can make something happen. Yeah, it's a big endeavor, but it's my Hail Mary. And boy, I'm going to try and do it next year, maybe in the springtime. But we got to get him on here. But this year was fantastic. It was a good year. One of the better years. I've had some rough years. Last year was pretty rough. Yeah, it was a gnarly year last year. But I really couldn't have done this without you watching this video. I appreciate you coming along this journey with me. It's been a wild ride. And I hope to see you in the next year. Oh yeah, got a lot of fun stuff. Cooking, brewing, stewing, stirring. Can't wait to share with you. And be sure to check the link in the description to join the giveaway for the bucket, Chris's world famous knick-knack shack, to be exact. But this definitely isn't the end of the videos this year. I have a couple fun things coming down the pipeline, and of course, the annual live stream where I build out my album of all the photos that I took this year. So be on the lookout for that, usually at the end of the year. Thank you so much for watching. Have a Merry Christmas, and I'll see you in the next one. Now, get out there, make some art.